What's up, everybody? It's your girl Rachel here with What's Up Dallas Magazine. I have another fabulous guest on my show, Miss Jasmine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. And Jasmine, could you tell everybody what you do and what your social media is?
I am the owner of an adaptive dance company called Jasmine's Beat Adaptive Dance. And our social media, we are on Instagram as at Jasmine's Beat. We are also on Facebook under Jasmine's Beat as well.
Fantastic. Now, for all of you who don't know what Jasmine's Feet is, I'm going to let Jasmine tell you about it and how she got started. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I am actually a recreational therapist by trade, and in my over 20 years of working with various populations with disabilities, I came across several clients who found out I used to teach dance on the side. My background is Bollywood dance, and I also worked for a company that did preschool ballet and jazz, so I knew a little bit about that. And the clients just asked for a class that would accommodate their needs or adapt choreography for what they're able to do and be part of community classes. And I thought it would be a great idea. I was for sure thinking that there's already classes set up in the area. And I looked around, and either they're set up by really well-meaning people, but it's not safely set up because you might not know how to interact with someone who's having an autistic meltdown, or somebody who needs to modify movements but they're in a wheelchair, or maybe you're dealing with a vet with PTSD. So you have to be really careful on how you um, adapt your classes towards different disabilities. So anyway, and then in the process of researching a little bit about it and finding out there wasn't a whole lot of resources out there, I just started reaching out to some dance studios. And the very first one was one that my own kids go to at it's Next Step Dance at the Star in Frisco. And they were more than helpful to help set up a class and see how it goes, even if we start with just one student. And it's
Mhm.
been thriving ever since. So now we have about, I lost count, I think about 8 locations throughout North Texas. And it's still growing. We have schools that have worked with us, psychiatric hospitals that have worked with us. Scottish Rite Hospital definitely still continues to work with us. And then we also offer virtual options too.
That's fantastic. I love everything you just told me. And I know that we have talked before, but it's like you're telling me a little bit of new information because I wasn't aware that you were out to 8 locations now. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at the growth happening. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I love that.
Thank
Oh
you.
man. Whenever you said like you accommodate to autistic children, autistic people, people with disabilities, people with PTSD, you're right that you do have to adapt to the type of clients that you have because some of them are sensitive or light sensitive sound movements. Sometimes they can't handle too much. Sometimes they need to have a little bit more one-on-one. Some of them just need to run. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Speaking of running, we've even had students come in. They participate like, I don't know, like the first 4 classes is just them running laps around our class, and then they'll come in and join whenever they feel like, and then they'll go back to running again. And they're still getting a therapeutic value out of our class.
Oh,
And they can't do that in a neurotypical setting. They have more freedom in our class. So,
yeah. That's the beautiful thing about it. You just let people be themselves and let them have fun, which is something that we all need to do sometimes. So I kudos to you. I'm glad that it's growing. I'm glad that I'm seeing your growth already since our last interview that we did in the magazine. So it's just wow. Oh my gosh, I had to take this moment. I'm just like, wow, this is great. Yeah, I see that you're really passionate about it and being a therapist as well. with dance therapy and all that. So I would say, what made you want to do that type of therapy in the first place? Let's get down to the bottom of it.
um, in college, I was originally a psychology major, turned into a physical therapy major, didn't really click well with it, but I knew I was down that path, just testing out. You're really young when you start college and you don't really realize what you truly want to do until the very end. um, and so I was trying different majors. Psych became my minor, and then I came across therapeutic recreation. And at the time, no one's heard of it. It's a fairly new field. Everybody's heard of OT, PT, and speech, but this is just a field that covers all the different types of leisure activities you could think of under the sun, but uses it towards reaching goals for a more well-rounded um, experience of life.
Mhm.
So, for example, someone who's in the hospital and receiving services and then just gets discharged and sent back home, and they're not going to be the same person necessarily. They're going to feel like they can't do the same things that they used to for whatever reason. And recreation therapy helps them get back into the community, trying to reach the same social skills that they had, or maybe make new friends in a different circle. And then also find out what your community resources are. Maybe you need transportation covered. Maybe you need to find a new leisure activity and a new purpose in life.
Mhm.
Um, we use journaling, we use art, we use dance. So I personally love the fact that we have a plethora of ideas to use when working with our clients. And then also we work with various populations. So it could be veterans, it could be, I've worked in nursing homes and assisted living centers.
Mhm.
The geriatric population, by the way, are awesome dancers. They're hysterical. um, don't let them fool you because they might just be sitting there most of the time in a nursing home in their chair, and then all of a sudden their favorite song pops up and they just jump up out of the chair not realizing they love the music and they don't even realize they're standing up.
That's amazing. That's great.
Um, yeah,
Mhm.
and then some other populations that we've worked with. I have an instructor that works with me that teaches ASL hip hop.
Mhm.
She happens to be hard of hearing as well, so she knows how to accommodate students who are either deaf or hard of hearing, and they can do hip hop, they can do jazz, they can do other styles of dance, but modify it and also add in a little bit of sign language, and it's all encompassing and actually teaches the community what how they communicate and how you can modify your world. So
That's beautiful. You're speaking light and love into the community, and I applaud you for what you are providing for everyone. It's really, really amazing for sure. Are you also doing fundraisers or do you have events coming up?
um good question. um, we do not have a fundraiser coming up. However, we have a scholarship fund that we have started, and that's specifically for families in financial need. They can just reach out to me privately and say, "Hey, we can't afford this monthly rate at this studio, but is there any way we could apply for the scholarship?" And we've had private donors donate money, but honestly, we could get all the help we can get with uh, our adaptive dance classes, because the one thing about this, I guess the negative about this is that it is not a money making field. It's
Mm.
definitely more about your passion and service. And so, for example, one of the things that we'd like to do some fundraising for is this uh, this group in actually this woman in California makes something called adaptive taps,
Mhm.
and they are gloves for doing tap dancing while you're sitting in a chair. So she creates a board and specialized taps that are attached to the glove. We would love to get several classes with those. They're a little pricey, but we would love to have them involved in our classes as well. So
That's
that's an idea.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. So I would actually like to get your wish list. If you could, I could post it for people if they want to donate to
Yes.
Jasmine's Beat, because I mean, we as DFW really need to help support people who are doing stuff like you're doing in the community. And I can't say that enough. I really can't, because community support, you're providing something to help kids, and adults, learn how to dance, but also to have fun, to be themselves, to heal, to just restore themselves, doing something that they love. And whenever the community comes together for that kind of idea, I believe that it becomes an overwhelming response. And I really hope that this will do that for you. Because it's just amazing. So you did talk about the positive, and then you did talk about the negative part, is that it's not overall financially rewarding, but it is something that is rewarding for you, like with your spirit, and you're doing something you're passionate about. So we are a business magazine. I do want to ask you, like, as far as starting off to do Jasmine's Beat, was it really hard for you to transfer from working for yourself and then going to Jasmine's Beat? Like, tell me about that transition.
That was very difficult, actually. I it's not ideal the way I started because I kind of started on a whim, and
Mhm.
just because I started doing the research into looking at classes around the area and finding out there was nothing, and then I just said, you know what, I'm going to start this, but I need a place that's willing to hold it. So I'll start asking around, and while I'm asking around, I'll come up with a business plan. And um, I asked so many people for advice, within my own family, within my extended friends, within other dance studios, what they've done, and then also within other therapists that decided to go solo, how they started up a separate business plan. So that was difficult coming up with the mission statement. I had so much to say. So if you look on our website, you'll see this ginormous paragraph, that is actually our mission statement. And um, I reread it to think that it needs editing, but it doesn't, because it pretty much, speaks everything that I want it to emulate. So, yeah. And then I think for me, I always, and this is a personal problem for me, I always kind of undervalue uh, how much our worth is. And so I didn't realize what I could do in the very beginning until other people suggested, like, hey, you should really go do this. You should really ask for this. And, I took advice and I was like, are you sure? I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if these places will take me seriously or consider me long term. I'm not
Mhm.
even sure what I'm doing. um, but yeah, I think everything is a leap of faith when you start your own business.
Yeah.
And I've been super lucky that, I have a husband that is supportive, and extended family that's supportive. So that definitely helps in the
Uh,
background.
That's beautiful. And I'm going to piggyback on that comment that you said about having a supportive group behind you. So, can you tell our viewers out there why it is so important to surround yourself with people that support you?
I have read and heard this several times from other business owners or CEOs, that it's very lonely at the top. And it is. If you're anything like me, you like to have control of everything. You just want to know what's going on in every possible part of your business. But I also learned that I need to let go and let be. So if I hire an adaptive dance instructor, I've given them all the training, I've, helped them out, given the music, given any props, given anything else that they could possibly need, and then I step away because it's in the long run, it's their class that they're building, it's their relationships with their students and the families that they're building. And
Mhm.
so that helped me realize, like, okay, I can let go of that, then I can make sure that something is running, but I don't have to keep looking at it and drive myself crazy over starting a business. I mean, being lonely at the top is such a it's the sentence that surrounds, I feel like, me all the time. I think, and so when I want to vent about things, it's never the same person, luckily. So random things, my support system, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to do this and I don't know how to do this and this at the same time. And I'm kind of overwhelmed. And so that background support system is necessary so that I don't have like a mental breakdown in the middle of teaching my own dance classes because
Right.
I was able to vent. I was able to go out and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine with a friend. That's absolutely necessary for every human being, whether you're a business owner or not.
Mhm. So taking breaks is essential. That's
Yes.
what I've been learning.
A little, yeah, a little self-care goes a long way.
It really does. I was just talking with someone the other day, and they were talking about a lot of people have a problem delegating their business. So that means you probably have a team that's behind you that help you get everything sorted out. I mean, with 8 locations, it would be really impossible for you to do it all by yourself.
Oh
So,
no. I tried in the beginning to do multiple locations and I was like, this is not going to work. And then I was like, okay, we're just going to have faith in good people and it took a little bit, quite a few tries and it's starting to go well. So, and then something else I didn't mention before is I also partner with a therapeutic theater program called North Texas Performing Arts,
that's so
Starcatchers.
cool. Mhm,
They have 5 different locations in North Texas,
mhm,
and I've worked with them since 2019.
mhm.
And I was their adaptive choreographer for a couple of years, and then now I am one of their directors for their shows. So, for example, we're currently working on All Shook Up, the Elvis
Uh-huh.
story, at their
That
Fairview
sounds so much
location.
fun.
And they present musicals on stage with adults and kids with various disabilities. So, yeah.
That is so cool. I'm very passionate about the arts in general. I can't sing for anything, but
Neither can I.
I can sing in the shower and in my car. Anytime there's not an audience, I can sing. So, I mean, it's just great that you have so many different ways to connect with the community. So again, like, wow, you're doing arts too? Performing arts.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing about working in the arts is like we were just talking about support systems. The families of those students are the ones that help make the theater shows possible. They volunteer their time and help with backstage and set pieces and just partnering. If somebody needs a volunteer to help a student read their lines out loud or whisper them behind them,
Mhm.
they'll do that or be a partner to help with choreography. So it's, it takes everyone, it takes a village to help
All
it
right.
go. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to give you a shout out opportunity. Is there anybody during this interview you would like to give thanks to?
Oh, there are so many people. I don't know if I could pick one.
No, don't have to pick
Uh,
one. Just whoever you want to shout out to.
oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to my husband, Tino, because without his steady help with finances and just a steady set of hands back at home while I'm running around from place to place because post pandemic we're on the move again and going from place to place and I'm in and out of the house all the time. So he is our steady rock at home. And then in terms of work, just out of the theater, I'd like to give a shout out to Gabrielle Collins, who is our fairly new managing director for the Accessible Theater. And she actually sat with me entire 3 days. We see each other more than we see our own families at the Abilities Expo last weekend, and we she talked for Jasmine's Beat, and I talked for NTPA, and she's always been a good support system and a sounding board. And then um, Barb from Next Step Dance, I'd like to give a shout out to, because without her, First OK, they were the very first place to help us start our classes. And even if we had one student, they still helped us push forward. So thank you so much for that.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And also great shout out to her team that keeps her going and makes her not
Yes,
have a breakdown. Okay. I'm just gonna go
yes.
there. I love that for you. So I know we don't have very much time left in the interview, but I would like to ask you if you could tell everybody how they can donate, how they can reach you, and your social media one more time.
Awesome. Yes. So our website is www.jasminesbeat.com. And if you go on the website, we have links for donations towards either the scholarship fund or a specific purpose or a specific amount of money. We also have links sometimes posted on our social media as well. Our social media, we are on Instagram as @Jasmine'sBeat and on Facebook as Jasmine's Beat as well.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you all for watching. Please, I'm gonna link up with you so we can get the adaptive dance theater on here too. So I really want to hear their story as well. So everybody who's out there, please go like, subscribe, follow Jasmine Speed, donate if you can, support DFW, support O's that are actually giving back to the community just like her. And follow us on social media at What's Up Dallas Magazine. Just Google me, you'll find me. And thank you all for your time.